Hello everybody, it's Marcus from PageProof here to go through another PageProof Academy. Now, it is the time of the year where we are celebrating festive season. So we've got 12 days of Christmas, which is something we do every year this time of the year, and we've just finished it. So from the 1st of December to the 12th, we release a new feature every day for 12 days. So what I'm going to go through is each one. We're going to do a little quick snippet. We've only got 30 minutes, so it's going to be pretty quick. But the great news is that if you go to blog.pageproof.com, there is a 12 Days of Christmas article there, blog article. And the great thing about it is it goes through each feature in detail. So there it is, blog.pageproof.com. Click on the festive feature release, 12 Days of Christmas 2024, and each of the features are listed here. But what I'm going to do today is take you through each one so you can see what it is that we've done and give you a bit of an inkling as to what it is that you can investigate when you are working in PageProof. So let's start off straight away with the bookmark feature. So number one, the bookmark feature. Now, there are those scenarios where you're reviewing a piece of work. So you could be going through a big catalog, for example, and you're proofing away and you get to page 3 and you think, okay, great, I'm going to start working on this. But then you get a distraction. Someone's asked you to reboot your computer, or someone said, hey, I need you to look at another proof. And you think, oh, how am I going to remember which page I'm up to? In this particular proof, you'll see down the bottom of the screen, here is a bookmark showing up. So you can just click the bookmark and it will now bookmark for me page 3 of this proof. Now, if I navigate anywhere else, I'm now confused. I don't know where I am. I'm all over the show. I've gone and looked at another proof. I've come back. My computer's rebooted or whatever it is. I come into this proof and I think, okay, where was I up to in the proofing of this proof? You simply click on the bookmark and say, go to bookmark. Boom. And it jumps you straight to where you were. Fantastic feature, a great way of getting back to exactly where you were, especially if you're working on 64 pages and you're up to page 47. So you can bookmark page 47, go do something else, and then come back. So that's number one. Number two, so this is the second day of Christmas. Second day of Christmas was a mandatory reference field. So in some situations, the reference field, if you have it turned on, you may want it that your design team must put a piece of text in here. It could be a job number. It could be anything that you want as a piece of text. So this is nothing to do with the references to any project management tools. This is purely a text reference in this field. So you can, in your settings, make the reference field mandatory. So you cannot create a proof until you put something into that field. So if you need mandatory job numbers on all of your proofs created by your creative team, you as the team administrator can switch on that the reference field is mandatory. So that is number two. Racing on to number three. So something for the video teams, Final Cut Pro, and we've got in here the ability to work out in Final Cut Pro with PageProof. So this is the plugin that you can now install to give PageProof inside of Final Cut Pro. So this is the panel here. You can see it, this PageProof panel. It's showing me the video projects that I'm working on inside of Final Cut Pro. And you can see all the comments are listed here as well. And when you click onto the comments, it jumps to that reference point in the video. So you can just click on the comments and it'll take you straight to those reference points in the video. So super useful. You can obviously upload new proofs from here, and you can upload new versions from here as well. So really, really powerful plugin. If you're using Final Cut Pro for your video production, you now have a plugin that you can use to get access to your PageProof comments for your video projects. So that is Final Cut Pro, and that was release day number 3. Let's jump in and take a look at the next one. Day number 4. So big thing, you're working with audio content and you'd like to know whether this audio content you want to know some of the technical details about it, and you also want to know whether this has been authentically created. So now, as you know, PageProof, or you may not know, we are a member of the Content Authenticity Initiative, and we have added the content credentials feature into PageProof. So if you upload anything from DALL-E or Firefly or any sort of content creator that supports content credentials, we will show you in the measurement widget down the bottom corner whether content credentials exist for this particular file. And we've just added support for audio. So if you're not sure whether this audio is authentically signed, we'll show you the little CR icon. You can see it down the bottom here. And it's now supported for audio. So we do imagery, support PDFs, and we also now support audio. Now, if you click into this, you'll see the second half of that feature, which is the details, the technical details. So we're showing bit rate, sample rate, number of channels and the encoder and those sorts of things. So this technical information is now available for audio content as well. So if you're an audio producer in any way, doing podcasts or music or anything like that, we have content credentials and technical information available for audio proofs. So that was day number 4. Day number 5. Day number 5, we said, hey, let's take a look at the audit. So inside of PageProof, we keep an audit for every single proof. So this, which is what you're looking at right now, this is the summary view, which is available on all PageProof plans. So the summary view, we've added into the audit event things like the message to the owner. So sometimes this message to owner, you have it on screen for a bit of time, you click on the OK button and the message to the owner disappears when a to-do list has been sent. And you think, what was that? Well, now you can go into the audit, hover over the message to this to-do list sending audit event, and we'll show you the message to the owner. So that's a nice enhancement there. And for those with PageProof Enterprise, if you go into the full audit view, we've added events in here like the share link sent, and that's useful information about the about what's going on with the proof, who it's being shared to, so you can see all of those additional options in the PageProof Enterprise full audit view. We've added some more events into there as well. So that is the enhancement of the audit in PageProof. Now the next one, this one's a really, really great one. This one is, hey, GIF file support. There's a couple of ways people like proofing GIFs. Number one is, hey, I'd like my GIF as a movie, sort of more like a video. So, I prefer that interface. I like to know the timeline and have all the video controls and those sorts of things. And then there's a bunch of other people in the world out there who say, you know what, I'd like the GIF in its native environment, like as a web proof, because I wanted to see what it would look like running inside HTML content. So now in the settings as a team admin, you have an option to say, and you set it for your team, we would like our GIFs as video. Great, you can do that, and that's the default. But then if you decided, hey, you know what, more of our GIFs are targeted towards the web and we'd like to see it in a native web environment, then you can ask for or have set your GIFs to be processed as HTML web proofs. And that gives you a much, much more web-like environment for your GIFs to actually play. So you can use that for looking at your GIFs. So you get a choice: video GIFs, which is the default, or you can have HTML GIFs, which are more like what GIFs would probably be used for. So that's now an option for you. And this is an example of what the GIF looks like when you set it to an HTML GIF. It just plays and cycles over just like a GIF would on a web page. So it gives you more of what it would look like inside of an HTML content. Okay. Let's jump back in and take a look at number 7. So number 7 is there is a new decisions report. So for those that are into reporting, we have added another report, which is an enterprise only report. And this report is decisions on proofs. So you can see it down the bottom here, team decisions on proofs. And the great thing with this one is it looks at all the proofs in a date range. And what it does is it's going to then give you all the decisions that people made into a report file so you can look at the detail of your proofing over this period of time. So decisions on reports, showing the reviewer's decisions and all the information around that, which is great for KPIs and great for just knowing the activity on your reports. So that's a new report for enterprise only, and that's available. That was available on the 7th day, which is a really good one. Okay, in a similar vein, another one for enterprise is the ability for you to set your private comments as private by default. So when you're placing feedback on a proof, you get the ability to put a comment on. So if I obviously come in here and I put in a comment, you'll see up the top there is this option here, which is the private comments option. Now, by default, that's going to be off. But there are some people that just would love the private comment feature to be on by default. So that means that the comment will only be seen by your team. So I'll come in here and say private comment, and you'll see it gets a slightly different treatment from a design perspective. So you can see, that is a private comment. And that will not be able to be seen by people outside of your team. Only your team members will see that. And if you are one of those team members that likes to comment in private by default, you can go to your profile and you can now set private comments by default in your profile. So that is number 8. That's private comments as an enterprise only feature, but it can also be optioned in if you are a PageProof for Teams Plus subscriber. You can talk to your account manager or your customer success manager, and they can enable that for you for a small fee. So you can have private comments on the Teams Plus plan and also make that a default in your profile. So that's a really, really good one right there. Next one we're going to jump into is taking a look at what we do when it comes to barcodes. We've made an enhancement to barcodes. So we can see that when you have a proof that has barcodes on it, you can go into the barcode scanner and that will load up for you. And then you're able to go in and choose that barcode scanner and it'll highlight them for you. So if I come into the magic tools here and I click onto the barcode scanner goes through, finds all the barcodes on the proof, and you can hover over these. So QR codes and barcodes are supported. But what you'll notice now is that we're giving you the width and the height. So we're giving you the dimensions of the barcode area itself. So this one is obviously a QR code. If I hover over this barcode, we get the width and height of the actual barcode here as well. And we give the diagonal as well if you need it. So that is a new feature there, giving you the dimensions of the barcode or QR code. And if you click into it, you can actually copy all that info to the clipboard, which is super, super useful as well. So that is day number 9. That is the barcode dimensions feature, which is available for everyone to use. Okay, now we're going to jump into another one that we added, which is by demand, customers working with the languages that include Russian support. So we've got now in our options here the ability to switch your interface not only in all these different languages as well, but a new one here, which is Russian. So this is a new language support that we've got in, and these are being built out every single release that we do. We are improving each of these translations and also looking to add more to the supported translations that we've got. So you can see all the options there, and a new one, which is the Russian language support, which is built into the PageProof interface for you to choose from. So that was day number 10. Okay, now we're going to go to a big one. This is day number 11, and this is Figma. So a little bit of background here. PageProof has supported Figma for a very long time. So you were able to come into Figma, go to that share icon, and you could get a share link, go back to PageProof, go create proof, paste it in. You know, there's a bit of work to do, but you could do it. And we would then provide a web proofing interface for your Figma prototype, which is great. But I think as we've seen, there's been a huge uptick in the people using Figma. And we decided, hey, this is a good time to add more support and more native support for Figma in PageProof or PageProof in Figma. So we have released, on day 11, we released a plugin, native plugin for Figma, which connects to PageProof. Now you can access this by going down to these options down here. And if you've got the plugin already installed, you'll see PageProof for Figma showing up here. And you can go to plugins and widgets here, so you can search for it. Or if you go to the Figma menu at the top of the screen, come to plugins, then you can manage the plugins from here and search for PageProof and the PageProof for Figma plugin. And when you select that, it pops up this window inside of Figma. So now you can see here is our native supported Figma plugin. And the great thing with this is that we're showing you your inbox here. So you can see all the proofs that you are working on. And if you do have a Figma prototype inside of here, you can do things like, highlight it, and then you can do upload a new version directly from it here. So if it's got a to-do list, you can do an upload new version directly from here. So that's really cool. But the big thing is creating proofs. So you're sitting inside of Figma and you think, okay, I need to send this prototype out and get some feedback using PageProof. So you click on Create Proof, and then you'll see that you've got right here, it's got the name of the proof. That's great. But you can also see we've got file type, and it's defaulting to the URL, which will give you a interactive web version of the Figma proof. And that's cool. That's what we did before. But we've given you a few more options here. So if you click onto this menu, you'll see that we actually have a bunch of static types that you can export directly from inside of Figma out across to PageProof. So really, really great. These are useful. The reason that you would do this is sometimes you just want to proof at this point in time. You almost want to snapshot your Figma prototype at this point in time and get people proofing it while you keep doing some other work in Figma. So you can do that. So a URL is a live view into your prototype, and as you're working on it, your reviewers will see you moving things around, which is fine. But if you want to take a snapshot in time of here is the proof at this point, you can use one of these static formats. Now, PDF is probably the best one to choose because it's going to do multiple file support, so multiple pages inside of your prototype. So you can choose that, and when you click Create, it will generate a PDF from your Figma prototype, and it puts it into PageProof, and you can set up your workflows and send it out from there. So a really great way of getting your Figma prototypes integrated into PageProof, and you can see that's something we've done. So this is right now available. You can install that into your Figma and use that for sending out proofs and uploading new versions. A future extension to this, and this is something that will be coming in the new year, is obviously comments and those sorts of things as well. So version 1.0 that we're looking at right now, send out proofs, send out new versions, which is a great leap forward. And then in the new year, we'll be bringing comments in for you to see inside of here as well. So get started. People love Figma, and we do too. So that's why we built this plugin for it. And hats off to the team who built this. It's a really, really great way to extend the functionality of Figma. Okay, the next thing I want to cover off is taking a look at accessibility. So the last option, or the last day of Christmas in PageProof, is our accessibility in the PageProof proofing screen. So accessibility is something at PageProof that we are fully committed to, and something that we think is really important going forward. So we decided that we are going to start making, or we have been making, a lot of changes to the PageProof proofing screen, because this is where most people spend their time. And we've added in things inside of here which make PageProof more accessible from a vision point of view. So contrast and colors and things. We've been working very hard on making sure all of the contrasts and colors are correct and achieve great scores for accessibility. And also the labeling inside of here for your screen readers. So if you are using a screen reader, we have significantly improved the accessibility of the PageProof proofing screen so that people using screen readers can get a great experience in doing this. Now, accessibility support is a journey. You can't suddenly go from 0 to perfection in one release. It doesn't work like that. There's so much to consider. So this is something that we really took a quantum leap on. Previously, the support was minimal. Now the support is much better, and it's a big leap for those people using those tools for accessibility inside of PageProof. And as we move forward into 2025, accessibility is a key feature, not only for the proofing screens and the dashboard as we improve those, but also some work that we're doing to actually check accessibility on proofing content. So that's an initiative happening throughout 2025. So that is accessibility, which is the 12th day of Christmas. Now, of course, I'm going to recap. blog.pageproof.com, go to click onto the 12 days of Christmas article, and we go in. First thing, bookmark feature, so you can now bookmark your position inside of a proof and then come back to it and jump back to that bookmark. Day 2, reference field, you can make that mandatory. Just the text part of the reference field, you can make it mandatory, so proofs can't be sent out until something is put into that field. Day 3, Final Cut Pro support. So if you're using Final Cut Pro for your video, you can now add a plugin from PageProof called PageProof for Final Cut Pro, and that'll give you the features of PageProof inside of your Final Cut Pro project, very similar to what we do with the Adobe tools. Day 4, audio file support in terms of a boost in what we support. So audio files have been in PageProof since 2016, but we've made a bit of a leap forward with the Day 4, and by adding in content credentials, so you can check the authenticity or at least the background of where that comes from, and you can also now see bit rates, sample rates, channels, and all those sorts of things. So that is Day 4. Day 5, enhanced audit. So now we give you more information inside of the audit, including getting to the approval message. So when someone sends a to-do list, you want to hover over and read that message, you can do that in the audit. And for enterprise users, we've added another event in there as well. Day 6, gifts the way you want them. So gifts previously were just video only. So we converted the GIF to a video, but now you can choose the GIF to remain as a GIF. So you can just say convert to HTML web proof, and that keeps it as a GIF and plays the GIF in the browser as if it was sitting inside of normal web content. So that's now done in the team settings for your entire team, so you can set that. Day 7, decisions report. So there's a new report for enterprise users that enables you to see the decisions on a proof and just look at KPIs and things to do with your proofing. So that's available. You can use that here. And then personalize how your comments show. You can have your comments go as they can be private by default. So if you've got this feature turned on, it's PageProof Enterprise, it's an optional feature for Teams Plus, you can now in your profile set your comments to be private by default if you want to. Barcode scanners had an enhancement. You can now see measurements for the barcode scanner. Great. And some other information you can copy and paste. It's really useful. Russian language support is now available. And of course, we're enhancing the other ones that we've got inside of the translations here. These are always getting enhancements and things changed across the whole lot. But Russian language support, Day 10. Day 11, Figma. So you can install the Figma plugin into Figma. So it's the PageProof plugin for Figma. And you can send out a prototype URL for a live URL, a live prototype running inside of PageProof, or you can snapshot it and send out a fixed visual using the static file formats inside of here. So you've got the options for that, not only sending out proofs, but also uploading new versions as well. So that's a really, really great one. And then last one is a big step forward in accessibility. So the PageProof proofing screen, which most people go to, has now had a big step forward when it comes to contrast. and the way that things work visually, but also screen readers have been improved significantly as well. So that concludes the last PageProof Academy of 2024, finishing with the 12 days of Christmas. Really love to thank you all for your support. We really love bringing these to you, and there'll be more coming into 2025. We've got a lot lined up for 2025 and really taking your review to another level. So we really want to support you on that journey, and love to wish you all a great break if you're taking a break over the festive season. And thank you very much. We'll see you next year. Bye now.